Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I decided I was going to design my own Pokemon. The reason for this is because if you know the Pokemon game that took place in the Galar region was supposed to be based on the UK. And a couple of me and my friends, we saw the Pokemon within these games and we thought they didn't really represent the UK as a whole. For those of you that don't know, I am from the UK, specifically the country attached to England called Wales. And yeah, so I just decided to design Pokemon I thought that would be in the Galar region that seemed to fit more so than the ones that they put. So I decided to make a full evolutionary line for a grass starter. I don't know what I'll name them, but I decided to start this evolutionary line with a squirrel inside of a conker shell. The reasons for this would be growing up throughout the years, you would always find that kids would always be obsessed with conkers because they'd be in these spiky green shells and you'd have this hard, almost like, I think it's supposed to be a seed, and some kids would play the game known as conkers, where you would either tie it to a string or you'd put a string through it and then you would whack the other person's conker with it until the first person shattered. And the reason why I've decided on the squirrel is because there is a huge abundance of squirrels in the UK. Basically, if there's a tree, chances are that there's a very high chance of there being a squirrel. But the reason why in which I did this is because I thought the two could blend well together, and as you'll see later on with the evolutions, they kind of become a how do I put it? Kind of become weapons for the Pokemon to use. So as you can see, for the first form of the evolution, I went with this stereotypical baby-looking thing that's overly cute, not too detailed, just a very simple design where the squirrel is within the conker shell, kind of using it as a coat, with its tail poking out of the back. Now, moving on to the second evolution, I kind of wanted to give it more of a knight or almost Robin Hood-esque style, where the top of the... I just said the word. Where the top of the shell is coming over his head, kind of like a hat, a bit more curved this time, and you know, his ears have grown longer, and he's, instead of being within the shell, he's instead got both sides of it on his arms, kind of like buckles or shields, and his torso, his actual body, is the conker that would have been inside of the shell. I think I did quite alright showing the evolution of this fake Pokemon, in the sense of, you know, you can tell where everything's come from, you know, you can tell that one is derived from the other. The only place where I feel like I messed up on was the colours. As you'll see later on as I'm drawing this one, the colours are a bit too samey and it ends up overall too much of the same brown. But other than that, I think that it looks alright. I like the pose. And yeah, I think the shields or buckles, whatever you want to call them, suit the character design very well. with the final evolution, you'll notice that I gave him a bit of a beard and just made him seem more furry around the face to kind of indicate that he's the older and the final evolution. The spikes on his armor I made a lot longer and pointier rather than slightly rounded like I did on the previous two evolutions. And what you'll notice is that instead of having two bucklers now, he has a proper shield, and one of the thorns from the conker has turned into a makeshift sword, I guess, which I think kind of gives off that knight vibe. The only reason I feel like I messed up on this one was because I feel like I messed up the posing. His feet, the way how they are, they look a bit awkward, like he's not too sure of himself. And he looks like he's got a bit of a hunch from where I've made his neck come a bit forward on his torso. But yeah, he still has the conker torso, and even though it's kind of hidden by the shield in the end results, he does end up having like a conker pelvis, which his legs will attach to. So with this, I thought of making it so that he had more armor, obviously, so I gave him these shoulder pads, which are clearly made from the conker as well. And something you may know or may have realized from the middle evolution was I put brown around the edges of the conker to show that the conker was starting to rot away. And why I did that was so that in this final evolution it may be considered so rotten it may cause harm or poison, because I wanted this final evolution to be a grass poison type. In addition to everything else, his tail has become even larger because I thought maybe it would be good for an animation or a attack animation where he can hide in his tail and like roll around with the spikes of his armor sticking out. The only reason I thought of this was because throughout me drawing these Pokemon, I was thinking of unique moves to the Pokemon. So like you have with Blastoise, Venusaur and Charizard, they kind of have their unique moves that they were given in later games. I do have to say I much prefer the colours for this one because I made the actual conker parts of his body a darker brown, allowing it to separate the lighter brown from it. And it kind of gives it a bit more character, I suppose, because it's just more colours onto it. And yeah, I went with a darker brown as well around the conker just to show that it is further decaying, further rotting, along with all the spots and everything on it. In addition to that, I think the purple, to show that it's poisonous now, kind of adds to it. It kind of breaks it up a little bit. And yeah, I can imagine this Pokemon like having Poison Barb or something like that as an ability, or you know, Poison Sting. Yeah, other than that, that's about all I can say about these Pokemon designs I've made. If you guys have any suggestions or you want more of these fakemon videos, let me know. I'm more than happy to design more. In fact, there were some others that I were cooking in my head whilst I was coming up with these ones. And if you have any feedback or if you just like the video, be sure to tell me by liking the video and commenting down below. And if you want to see more from me, please don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.